Sawadee and welcome to another episode of the Funk It Pod. We are talking about all things MMA media this week, or as always, as every week, and not just reviewing the events and so on, but talking about like the media, of course. And honestly, the events, was okay, wasn't that great, but it was okay, of course. When it comes to then the media, how the UFC in this case showcased everyone, everything, everybody. Like the biggest gripe that everybody talked about, of course, was like the Moreno-Figgy face-off. I agree that it didn't make much sense, but you can also you can't force it, of course. You can't. If Brandon Moreno doesn't feel it, you can't be like all WWE style and like you have to cut this promo. Like, I mean, he's in a fight first, right? So let him win his fight. He won the fight, and then he's thinking about like, oh, I need to sell this or whatever. Nah, just don't let Figgy in the ring. Just let him stand outside the cage and be like, wah, wah. That would have been enough. But then this incident, this weird left-handed handshake. That was WWE. So that bothers me all the time now. We're already jumping back and forth from like WWE to MMA. I know it's not the same. It's fake. Shut up. In WWE, the wrestling, they always do left-handed handshakes. I know it's for the camera, I guess. But if I would shake you with the right hand and the other, but with the left hand, then the other person faces it, right? So it's for the hard cam, I guess. But man, it's so annoying. You shake with your right hand. I'm left-handed, and I know that you shake with your right hand. Nah, annoying. That annoys me every time I see it. Seriously. Yeah, it's for the hard cam. Fuck the hard cam. Sorry, F the hard cam. All right, but back to the MMA part. So, this face-off, stupid. Like, if you do the face-off, you have to do the face-off like DC and Brock just to sell it down the road. They didn't want to do it, which is fine, which is great. Brandon Moreno, you get a Lego heart, that's cool. But then just don't let Figgy in. Like, leave him outside the cage. Be like the villain saying outside cage, like, I have the real title. And then you can sell that stuff. What was good though afterwards, then Figgy on Ariel show, the MMA Hour back in your life. He's like, in a moment, Moreno was nice and sweet and just caught me off guard and it was contagious. I am back to my normal old self now. I'm the villain, kind of like I'm the villain again. I'm gonna tear him a new one. We're not friends. I like that one. That was good. That was the right thing to do because they want to sell that, of course, when it comes to Brazil. So that was good. That was smart. I appreciate that. As then for the main event, of course, Amanda versus Juliana Pena. If I were the UFC, hard. Because what else are you going to do with Amanda Nunes, right? So, I mean, first of all, Amanda Nunes, media works terrible. And she's amazing in the octagon, like not taking nothing away from it, but we're not talking about like just octagon stuff, we're talking about like the rest, right? And for the rest, like terrible. Like even in the press conference, she didn't before, right? She did not answer the questions. They're like, hey Amanda, what blah blah blah, like some specific question. She's like, it doesn't matter. All that matters is that I will be the champ again. Which is yes, true, but answer the question, because if you answer the question, they're going to print it, they're going to publish it, they're going to cut it and post it on social media. If you don't answer the question, they're not going to do it. Because it doesn't make sense. It also makes the showness look stupid. And so they're like, okay, whatever, let's just move on, right? They never ask again, they just move on. They're like, okay, whatever. So if she really wants to be like a John Jones, whatever, she needs to be better at utilizing the media. And I understand it's hard for a non-native speaker, just like me. Like, I mean, you can see how I struggle for words at times. But you got to do it. There's no way. There's no other way around. And I mean, she said that she's not that embraced in Brazil, or being that much embraced. See, now I struggle with the words too. She's not being embraced as much in Brazil. Maybe it's also because of the media that she's doing. I don't know. Like, it was also weird at the press conference. They asked questions in Portuguese and she answered in English. Like if someone from your home country asks you in your native language, in your native tongue, wouldn't you reply in your native tongue so that your home fans could all understand it? It was a bit weird too. I mean, I appreciate that I understand what she answered, but why wouldn't you answer in the language that they ask you in, like for your home fans? Weird. So Amanda needs some media training, I think. I also think that she doesn't care about it. which is fair enough. And she's having a good life probably, so all good. I'm just saying, like, if you want to utilize more, I would suggest like some more media training there. For Juliana Pena now, of course, she's already clamoring for the trilogy, which is kind of fair. I mean, yeah, she got dominated. She still had Nunes in trouble at times, even though she got dominated. And yeah, she has a finish over her. So, and she didn't get finished. So yeah, that's like Nate Diaz math. It's like, I finished you, you didn't finish me, I win. That's the Diaz math. So not surprised, Mother Pena, that she's asking for another fight. And to be honest, that's the thing she has to do. Like, should she be saying, "Nah, I'm good"? No, of course not. So of course you want another fight, making more money. It's going to be pay-per-view again. Yeah, great, do it. So Pena is as annoying she is at times, and no offense, because I like it. I like the cockiness. She's using the media to the best of her abilities. She's making the best of those. I don't want to say the 15 minutes, but like her year that she has now in the limelight. She's making the best of it, and that's great. Like, go for it. Like, I'm all for it. I'm all here for it. She did all the media obligations before. She answered every question. Yeah. So from a media point of view, I'm not talking fighting, right? Of course, chances are if they fight again, Amanda are going to destroy her again, unless maybe Juliana learns how to switch stances and do the dipping jab with a switch stance. Shout out to the Jack Slag podcast there, which was a nice breakdown. he was laughing, but he was saying it was amazing. He tried to break it down, and he's like, "Oh, maybe they have a third fight," and then Juliana switches stance and does the dipping jab again. Yeah, but from like media wise, Juliana, go for it. Keep going. Like, all good there. Who else do we have left? Oh yeah, Kai Kara France. I mean, he's from City Kickboxing. They don't talk much in the media, right? They don't do, like, maybe Izzy does stuff, but also not that much, to be honest. Not that. In terms of building a fight, he doesn't do much. He does lots of in the media, and he's publishing lots of stuff and fight reactions, and which is awesome. But he doesn't do much to build a fight because he's like, I'm the star. You want to see me anyways, which is fair. Yeah, same for Volk, like different attitude, but also, but I like Volk, cooking with Volk. I hope he does more of that. But yeah, right now also doesn't have to because there's no fight lined up. So for KKF, it's tough because he's not the guy that uses like media to go out there and like, so hard to do much there. I hope the UFC will like build him up again, because you could make a point that, of course, Moreno won the first rounds, but you could also make a point that Kai Kara France won rounds or like won parts of rounds and could show some highlights like how he really touched up Moreno. Because when he let his hands go, like when he was throwing combos, it looked quite good at times, right? Like in between. So you could build like a nice package there. And then when he comes back, like he was so close to the title. He got his opportunity taken away from him in the last second. Now he climbs up to be back. And then you show like this. So I mean, I hope the UFC builds him up like this, because I don't think that he's like the trash talker that would do it for himself. I did like his swagger and his style though at the press conference. This old school suit, that was pretty neat. So props to KKF for that. That was quite cool. So I hope the UFC doesn't like just throw him like back now and like, oh yeah, you had your chance, let's go back. I hope like after the Moreno and Figgy fight, and I hope KKF is still like in the mix, like top 4, top 5, fights another contender, and then he might be right back out there, because the fight was great. Like it was fun back and forth. Moreno a bit smarter maybe, but it was still fun to watch. Yeah. Okay. Other than that, I don't think there's much to talk about. Like the last UFC pay-per-view in regards to who should do what with the media. Like lots of talk about results, like Anthony Smith, for example, breaking his ankle and so on. But he's gonna use the Bisping pod anyways, the Anthony Smith pod anyways to like get traction again and so on. So I don't worry about him. And other than that, I think the others don't really have that much. Well, I hesitate because, of course, like Pantoja was insane, right? Like, I mean, he just steamrolled him, like Perez, right? He just came out and just steamrolled him, and it would be perfect to like now just talk trash. And he did a little bit in the press conference before. If you've seen it, they asked him like, "Hey, Alexander, you have like victories over Moreno and KKF, and now they're fighting for a title. How do you feel?" And he's like, "Yeah, it's kind of nice. I brought my 2 sons here." So I hope he continues that. I haven't seen much of this building trash talking or like bringing himself up there like a lot over the past few weeks, month. But I mean, the way he steamrolled Paris, he's got all the momentum right now, and I think he's the next in line probably. Like if Figgy Moreno is done, he's like, "Look at me, B word or something." So he should be there, right? So I hope I hope the UFC doesn't just like ignore him, because I mean, those 15 seconds or whatever, you have your hype package right there. Like just run that in repeat with a nice background music, and then you get people excited, like, "Oh my god, you have to see this guy! What the oh god!" And so that's what they should be doing. And I hope he does it too. He should post that thing like over social media all the time and could be like, "I can't wait to see Figgy Moreno because I'm gonna steamroll both of you on the same night," things like this, right? So he has to be, he can be vocal now after the performance, and he should be, in my opinion, be vocal now. Go on all the shows, go on all the podcasts, go on the Funk It Pod, go. If that doesn't do enough, which I would assume it does, but if the Funk It Pod isn't enough, maybe go on Ariel. Here's the Ariel. I give you ideas. I send you people. Do all those things, because the worst thing that could happen now after such a performance is if people forget about it. So make sure that nobody forgets about it. Book the agent, book interviews like close to the Figgy Moreno fight. Be like, "Hey, I'm next. No matter who wins, that's my idea. That's my prediction. Blah 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 blah. I'm next." Like, make sure that no one forgets Pantoja right now. Make that a brand, the Pantoja punch, the Pantoja whatever. Go for it, man, because this is your time now. All right, I think that's enough for the quick recap here now, because you can see like new setting. If you're watching, if you're listening, you probably hear that's not that great, not that well isolated just yet. So I'm working on this. Next episode will be more professional in the new setting, and because I just moved. If you listen to other parts of the pod, so I just moved, so it will be all better in the next episode. Okay, and then also next time we talk more about wrestling again. Yay, the fake sport. Sorry, not sorry. Talk about. Okay, like one quick thing before we finish things up, and then I have to run again to the hospital. But before we finish things up, Ric Flair's last match. I mean, I'm glad he survived. But, for me personally, Ric Flair's last match, and as many people said on social media, will always be the one against HBK. I'm sorry, I love you. Sweet chin music. That was Ric Flair's last match, no matter how many times he comes back. I was on Facebook, Cult of Kayfabe, the group posted like a picture, like a Photoshop picture of like Ric Flair's last match too against Nick Gage. So please let Ric Flair leave it at this. Okay. That's it for now. More breakdowns or like analysis once the studio and everything is set up here, and then also talking more about one championship again. And one more thing before we finish. So 2 weeks ago, we talked about like Buakaw signing for bare knuckle fighting championship for whatever. I mean, whatever reason. The reason is money, but why would you let them take away like all your 8 limbs and just use 2 limbs? But okay, yesterday Saenchai, the GOAT of Muay. If you don't know Saenchai, the GOAT of Muay Thai, like without exaggeration, signed for BKFC 2, and they must have thrown all the bags at those guys, of course. But it's like just, I mean, and he has a 12-0 boxing record or something, so fair enough. Of course, he's got hands, and he fights bare knuckle Muay Thai here too. It's called Kratchuk. You just have like this ropes, basically those old school ropes kind of thing wrapped around your hand. So he's used to that stuff, no problem. But also then just boxing, like, dude, I mean, what about the wheel kick? Like, it's his trademark move is a wheel kick. I hope he still does a wheel without a kick, but just a wheel in the fight, and then just keeps throwing punches. So anyway, Saenchai now also signed for BKFC. Kind of cool, like good for him to get the bag. Sad because it means no Muay Thai, no kicks and stuff. Right, but that's it, definitely no. So rest then in the next one with one championship, maybe some Bellator. Let's see if it's worth it. PFL, BKFC, all those things in detail once I'm set up here. Thanks for joining this, I don't know, made up, no, this emergency pod here in the emergency setting. I'll see and talk to you soon. Until then, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, rate this thing, and also to keep your guard up at all times, of course. See and talk to you soon. Sawadee Krap.